Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, as we know, Donald Trump did a rally in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is a very, very contentious battleground area. Trump won it in 2016, fell a hair short in 2020, and that may be one of these new bellwether counties that are going to dictate the outcome of the 2024 election. And while Trump was at the rally, he talked about a lot of things. He talked about his administration and its successes and contrasted them with Biden's administration and his failures as to make the case for why he should not only be the 2024 Republican nominee, which he's pretty much got the nomination on lock if you've seen the polling, but on top of that, why he should be not just the 45th, but also the 47th president. But there was something he brought up at this rally that I personally think was more consequential than anything that he said regarding messaging or regarding policy, because as you know, elections are not about that anymore, at least not entirely. They're about how many ballots in the key areas can you get into the ballot box by election day. In order to win, it's a game of points. If you score more than your opposition, good for you. You're going to win. So Trump, knowing this as an issue, has explained the correct strategy for how we can unite the Republican Party and also win and defeat Joe Biden. We're going to play the clip. We're going to talk about it in depth. But at first, I have to tell you guys about my exclusive membership club website, redeaglepolitics.com. We released a video about messaging yesterday that was full length, but it did not make it out to the channel, but you guys can still watch it at redeaglepolitics.com. $5 a month, 16 cents a day. You get all my exclusive videos. You also get my latest newsletter posts, and you get access to the Discord for just $5 a month, a coffee a month. Make sure you guys sign up. The link is in the description and the pinned comment down below. So, this is important. I'm going to play this clip from Donald Trump, and then you guys can listen to it, and then we're going to analyze it. So take a listen.
I say this from strength, not from weakness, believe me. I think it's time for Ron DeSanctimonious and so many of those other clowns on the stage. No, you had to see Iowa. They're speaking to people that aren't even listening. They're talking. They're waiting for me, I have to say. They're waiting for me to come up. I spoke last. For Ron DeSanctimonious and so many others that are wasting hundreds of millions of dollars that Republicans should be using to build a massive vote-gathering operation to take on crooked Joe Biden in November, because we cannot lose. We cannot allow our country to lose that election. If we do lose that election, I don't think we have a country anymore. I'll be honest. You see what's going on.
So Donald Trump is essentially calling for every Republican that's in this race that has a war chest. They have hundreds of millions of dollars. DeSantis has a couple $100 million. He spent a lot of it only to lose support somehow. Tim Scott has also banked around 100 or so. And there's plenty more people that are in this race that have a lot of money that they could use, but they're going to spend it. So, Trump wins the primary by 40 points instead of winning it by 50 or 60 points. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to divide the party and then hope that Donald Trump goes to jail, because they want that to happen. Trust me, the Republican establishment wants Trump to go to jail. They want him out of the way. They love the indictments, even if they don't publicly admit it, so they could go ahead and get him out of the way and his brand of conservatism out of the way. They're trying to discredit him. They're still upset from the 2016 Republican primary. And even though it's not 2016 anymore, 2024 has more in common with 2016 than it has in common with 2020. 2020, the Republican establishment did line up behind Trump. In many cases, they subverted his agenda. They subverted his messaging. And what happened? He didn't get the turnout he needed in certain places. And we could talk about other stuff, but still, you're playing the game you're in. You got to play to win. You got to beat the Dems at their own game. And Donald Trump is essentially saying these people need to not have this divided primary. They need to use their hundreds of millions of dollars that they have to build an operation just like the Democrats have, so we can beat them. There's more of us than there are of them. Trust me. It may not feel that way, but it's true. And it can very well be true if we utilize a system that is similar to the system that they utilize. You know, how do they exactly get their voters out? They have election month. I don't like election month. I think we should scale it back significantly. I think that that was a very disastrous thing. You have people voting before debates. You have people voting before October, early November surprises. That's not good, obviously, but still, we're never going to get rid of it unless we can win an election with it. And when Republicans have embraced it in places like Florida, in places like California, they're actually moving those states to the right. I'm not saying we're going to win California anytime soon. We're at an extreme deficit there, but are we doing better there? Yeah, we cracked 40% there in the midterms. That was huge. And that was despite being outspent. Why? Because Republicans there utilized the system. You have to beat the Dems at their own game. We need early voting. We need to have our own drop boxes in our own conservative places. And we need to go out there and ballot harvest the way the left does. And we also need to avoid these divisive primaries and consolidate our resources the way the left does. That's how we go out there and win. That's how we beat them, not by cucking, not by caving, not by putting out these weak people who just have zero charisma or even policy that they bring to the table. It's not always about, oh, we give the people a good show. That's definitely something that will inspire voters for sure. But at the end of the day, policy does matter, and you need people that are solid on the issues, not people that cave on the issues. And we need to go out there and beat the Dems at their own game. But instead, the Republican establishment is spending a ridiculous amount of money trying to take down Trump, more so than they're actually spending trying to win the election. And this is true. And if we did this in the midterms, we would have had a very, very good midterm. In terms of the Senate races, Nevada, the snowstorm in Reno would not have mattered. Adam Laxalt would be senator right now, despite being vastly outspent. I'm not going to say Blake Masters would have won necessarily, even if the funding was closer, but still, he would have done a lot better. And on top of that, if you didn't have this divisive primary for the Senate race, the divisive primary for the governor's race, then Kari Lake would be governor right now. Blake Masters would have an outside chance of being senator right now, and the polls that showed them ahead would have been more accurate. And this is very true. Looking at all these other places, Pennsylvania, that was a disaster, obviously, but still that divisive primary definitely held back Dr. Oz come election day in November. Same thing even in Ohio with J.D. Vance. He only got like 30-some% of that primary vote. They spent a lot of money attacking him and trying to say, oh, he's a fake conservative. He's not a real Trump supporter or whatever. And you see all these shifts to the left in these kind of rural areas. In fact, in the suburbs of Cincinnati, he didn't really underperform that much. And in some of these ancestrally Dem places that pay good attention, he even outperformed Donald Trump in some counties, including Mahoning County, which Trump flipped in 2020 from 2016 from blue to red. And it's probably only going to get redder from there. So you're seeing this all together throughout the midterms. Wisconsin, I mean, there was not really that much of a divisive primary there, but we don't utilize the election system. Dems go to Milwaukee, they go to Madison. We have so much math. There's so much math. There's so many non-college educated white voters that could be voting and would be voting for us that don't exactly turn out to vote. Part of that is messaging. The messaging sucks. The GOP has a brand problem in a lot of these places, and Trump is the one keeping them afloat in presidential years. But still, they need to build that operation. Democrats in places like Milwaukee, they get their voters out. They get their voters out in Madison. We don't get our voters out. And as a result, we lose, or in this case, barely win, despite having an incumbent senator there running up against a crazy person. They will say, well, we underperform because of these crazy people. Well, first of all, who says they're crazy? And even if they are crazy, the left embraces their crazy people. John Fetterman is a senator right now. Katie Hobbs is a governor. Mandela Barnes was almost a senator, and he just trashed America on the 4th of July. Thankfully, we had that video. If that video was never released, he possibly would be in the Senate right now. And then you look at states like North Carolina. Ted Budd was outspent. He embraced Trump. He embraced Trumpism. He embraced a lot of these America First principles. He didn't shy away from them. He was outspent vastly. He still won. by 4 points. Marco Rubio won by 17 in Florida. He's actually been better rhetorically lately. He was outspent, but still, because Republicans in those states are embracing the tactics electorally of the left, it doesn't matter as much about spending. They're getting their turnout. They're winning. But still, so many Republicans would rather waste money attacking who is eventually going to be the nominee, which again, you don't have to like that. Maybe you prefer somebody else besides Donald Trump. There's no realistic path to taking down Donald Trump, especially with these indictments. So you better just get behind him regardless and support him so we can actually unite the party and win. He's not the one polling at 14%. If I'm going to sit there and say, oh, we got to unite behind DeSantis or whatever for whatever reason, no, then you're crazy. But Trump, he's in the lead. He's been the nominee 2 consecutive cycles. He has a very good chance at victory. Even CNN is admitting he has a good chance at victory in November. I think he does, but we have to utilize the election system to our advantage. The RNC's kind of working on something, the bank your vote thing. Trump's promoting it. That's good. But still, imagine what we could do with all of this money if the Republican establishment wasn't spending so much of it every election cycle on ridiculous bullshit that holds us back in November and keeps the losing streak alive so they can blame Donald Trump. But Trump's not going away. He's back. He's stronger than ever, and he gives us the best shot at victory in 2024. So let's make it happen. We got to go out there. We got to get our turnout up. That's the number one way we win. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.